Good morning and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Wayne County. We are a diverse congregation that welcomes you as you are, regardless of your age, ethnicity, race, sexual orientation, gender identity, economic status, or physical ability. We come together to seek a deeper meaning and understanding from each other and the world around us. Your presence here today is a gift that brings us closer to that understanding. We're an active community that lives its values beyond the hours of Sunday, and I would like to call your attention to the following. Bowling is back. All UUs are welcome to join us at Triway Lanes next Sunday, November 13th. We have rented the entire bowling alley once again. Come anytime between 6 and 9 p.m. and you'll be provided with a bowling ball and shoes. And you can play an unlimited number of games, or you can simply hang out and chat during this annual event. For more information, check out the flyers around our building or see any member of the membership committee. If you missed it, the Power a Clean Future Ohio presentation of September 22nd was recorded and will be shown here at the Fellowship Thursday, November 10th at 7 p.m. This is a great opportunity to learn about the resources and support that PCFO, a nonpartisan coalition, offers local communities to help them move forward toward clean energy and cost savings and healthier environment that clean energy can bring. Please plan to attend. On November 20th at 7 p.m. in the Market Square, the Worcester Area Interfaith Partnership will be holding a candlelight vigil for the Transgender Day of Remembrance. Join us as we honor those whose lives were lost over the past year due to violence against transgender persons. If you'd like to find out more about our activities, feel free to ask Karen Skubik, Karen's right over there, our membership coordinator, after the service.
Thank you, Jean. And as the membership coordinator, I'd like to greet any visitors we have today. As I warned, I often get a chance to warn, but not always, let you know that I'm going to offer you the opportunity to stand up and introduce yourself if you want to. If it's your first time or if you've never introduced yourself, you're welcome to do so. So any takers? Sure. All right, let me bring the microphone over to you. Thank you for being brave.
My name is Jonathan. I'm here with my wife, Vicki. She's actually been here before. First time on a Sunday.
Thank you. Good to have you here. Jonathan, Vicki, anybody else? I don't think there's anyone else new. Well, glad to have all of you here. And thanks to, let's see, who's making coffee today? Thanks to Jay, we'll have coffee after the service. And no one signed up for coffee making next week, so hopefully somebody signs up today. Thank you. A little plug.
Good morning, everyone. As you know, we've been going through the weekly reminder of all of the different committees that we have, and I'd like to introduce to you, am I not on? Am I on now? I cannot tell from this because I'm just past the monitors. Chris Struzik here is our new lead for the pastoral care team. How many of you know what the pastoral care team is and does? All right, so the rest of you have in for a treat. Chris?
Yep, thank you. Good morning, folks. My name is Chris, as it says, and he said. Really happy to be with you this morning. I am one of a handful of people who make up your pastoral care team, and on that team also are Sue. Here, raise your hand, Sue. Just hello, there she is. And Steve, Gail, and Cheryl. So we all make up your pastoral care team, and we are all responsible to Reverend Walter in our service to you. You can also identify us now with our little buttons with a heart on them, and they say UUFWC Cares, and well, that's because, well, we do. Each of us is trained, and we have experience in this kind of personal care. And it's important to say that there are no thresholds or rules, any bars to be met to reach out to us. So no, depending on your pain, your anxiety, your stress, it really doesn't matter. We'd love to talk to you with any concerns you might have. So you might be asking, what exactly is pastoral care if you aren't aware? You might have heard of us, don't exactly know what we do. Well, Gail has was part of forming this committee, this ministry, several years ago. So we've asked Gail to kind of share her thoughts on this ministry. So, Gail.
Wow, we have a passel of kids up here this morning, don't we? Pastoral care is something that I'm very, very passionate about. And pastoral care, as our congregation ages, and we all do too, is something that's very important to keep community together. And that's the whole point of pastoral care, is those folks who cannot be with us or are bound by disabilities or health issues, we find it's best to go to their homes and visit them and speak with them for a while. And we do this on a monthly basis, and if the congregant wants to be visited more, we of course do that. But I want to kind of roll this in with the sermon I gave a month ago on courage. Because there are 6 different types of courage, and I'm going to name them for you. There's spiritual courage. Of course, we're living with purpose and meaning through a heart-centered approach towards all life and oneself. Intellectual courage, to learn, unlearn, and relearn with an open and flexible mind. Emotional courage, to feel your emotions, positive or negative, without guilt or attachment. Moral courage, of course, to do the right thing when it's uncomfortable or unpopular. Social courage, to be yourself unapologetically. And physical courage, to keep going with resilience, balance, and awareness. Now, as we age, our courage sometimes tends to wane. And for those of us, like myself, who are very self-reliant on the things that we can do, it's hard for us to ask for help. But there comes a time in all of our lives when we need to say, I need help, I need spiritual guidance, I need community, I need those things, but I can't get out to get them. And that's why pastoral care is here. So any of us who Chris identified, of course, would be more than willing to help you with any of these things, but you do have to have the courage to call and ask for help, and I think that's important. Because we can maintain all the courage that we want, but there are times when we need to ask for help, and that's why we're here. So I'm hoping that in the future, if any of you do need someone to lean on, someone to talk with, whether it's health issues or personal issues, we are there to help you out. Thank you.
And I just want to say one more thing about pastoral care before we begin our service. A lot of us feel that pastoral care is for those who are unable to join us for worship on Sunday, and that's true. That is a very necessary and important part of it. But there are a lot of people, there are a lot of us, who are just struggling with moments that seem small and insignificant. Times where maybe we're going to be empty nesters for the first time. Maybe we're dealing with the idea that we feel like we're falling out of love. Maybe we're dealing with something that's a deep personal struggle and we need to see how this fits into the larger piece. And we don't know who to talk to. Or maybe we're just feeling off. All of these are reasons. All of these are reasons to come and talk to a pastoral care associate. And I remind us of that today, especially with our All Souls service. We're going to be talking about people who we've lost. And that's hard for all of us. And it might be bringing up some stuff. So I would like, once again, for the pastoral care associates, raise your hand. And everybody look around. Look who our pastoral care associates are. If something comes up for you today and you need to talk about how hard it was to deal with the loss of someone, you have someone to talk to. One of those who's raising their hand, talk to me. Pastoral care is to remind us that we are here for each other. And our pastoral care associates are trained to listen and to hold you deeply in that moment. Thank you, pastoral care team. Remember again, we do have coffee after service. Please join us. I now invite you to set your phones into worship mode and join us for our service.
Our chalice lighting this morning is in memory of all the flames by Amaret Calloway. In memory of all the flames that didn't die, in the midst of darkness, in spite of the darkness, we light this flame today. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not overcome it. Let us now rise in body or spirit as we sing our opening hymn, What Wondrous Love Is This? The music can be found in the Gray Hymnal, number 18.
Good morning. This is the time in our service when we get to share a story together most of the time, and it is a story today. So I would like to invite anyone who would like to be a little closer for the story to come on up right now. All right. If you're not here already. I have a wonder box today, and we'll get to that in a minute. A beautiful story called Journey to the Shining Isle. I didn't memorize it. The words were too beautiful, there were too many, and so I'm going to read you this story today. The story is written by someone named Starhawk, and it is, I just really enjoy it, and it goes really well with our All Souls service, okay? Circle round. Close your eyes and imagine. It's late at night on Halloween, and you're very excited. All evening long, you have been out, dressed up in costumes. Did anyone do that? Yeah. You've been collecting candy and apples and fruits and other treats from all the houses in your neighborhood. Now you are quiet. It's been a long night and it is time to sleep, but you can still feel the magic in the air. Do we have to go to sleep? That's what you say. Do we have to go to sleep? Tonight is a night for magic dreams, say the old ones. Set out an apple for Grandfather Deer. You can put that on the windowsill if you'd like. Well, you choose your best apple, and so that's what you do. And then you lay down and close your eyes. Now the room is filled with this kind of earthy animal smell. Open your eyes, and before you stands the glowing spirit of Grandfather Deer, the oldest and wisest stag in the forest. You know what a stag is? Big horns. He has many branching antlers, and he carries them very proudly on his head. Hop on my back, and I will take you someplace. You climb onto his back. You hold tight to the antlers. Hold tight to the antlers. There you go. And he moves so swiftly and smoothly, and you feel like you're flying out of the house, over the tops of the trees, out past the streets, over the cars, out into the spirit world that has swirling colors. At last, you come to a sandy beach by the shore of a very dark ocean. But you're not afraid. Even though you really can't see much in the dark, you're with Grandfather Deer. Grandfather Deer asks you to get down off his back and says, I cannot take you any further. Now you must go on by boat. So you slide down off Grandfather Deer's back and thank him. Thank you. A boat glides across the water and comes up onto the shore. You kind of hear the crunch of the sand. Do you want to ride in my boat? Asks a voice. You can't see anyone. You look, but you know that voice is magic. And did you know that voice sounds different to everyone who hears it? Some might hear a child, some might hear an animal.
A bell.
A bell? What do you hear?
Chicken.
A chicken. The voice says, do you wish to visit the shining isle across the sunless sea? And what do you say? Yes. Well, then you must pay me something. But I don't have any money. I'm only a kid, and I left all my candy back at the house. Well, the voice says, I like stories. Stories better than money. What story will you tell for your fare for the boat ride? Anybody have a story they would like to tell? You don't have to tell it, but what story would you tell?
The Little Red Riding Hood.
Little Red Riding Hood. Anybody else want to tell a story?
The Little Pigs.
You'd tell a story about the little pigs.
Hogwarts.
Hogwarts story. Now you've told your story, climb on to the boat. You climb aboard and the boat slips away from the shore. It moves silently over that dark water. In the distance, something shines. Suddenly it grows bigger and brighter, and you start to smell something really sweet on the air, something that reminds you a little bit of fruit and flowers,
A pie.
a pie,
Cupcakes.
cupcakes, something sweet and beautiful. It's probably different for everyone, whatever they find most enjoyable, right? Now you can see that that shining in the distance is an island. And on the shore are beautiful trees and flowers. Flowers shine with a light of their own. They're so bright. Who lives on that island, you ask? The beloved dead and the unborn, says the voice. Am I dead? No, but tonight is Halloween, and it's the only night of the year that the living, can visit the shining isle. The boat reaches the shore and the sand scrapes under it. Thank you, you say, jumping off and wading through that shallow water to get to the shore. You step up onto the shores of that magic island, and that island looks different to every person. You see the most beautiful place you can imagine, and it's just the sort of place you like best. It might be a valley, or it might be mountains. What might be your favorite place? Anyone?
The
The red rocks in Utah. Anyone else? What's most beautiful? Ezra? That's okay. You can tell. The Grand Canyon. Yeah. Some beautiful places. But it's different for everyone. Now, someone is there to greet you. It's an ancestor. An ancestor, someone who loves you very, very much. So who is it? I want you to imagine in your mind who that ancestor is that greets you. Zuri?
My dog.
Your dog. Ezra?
My grandma.
Your grandpa. Yeah. So everyone has someone. It's someone you know and you miss and you want to remember them, or maybe it's even an ancestor you haven't met before. Ellie told me earlier about her grandpa that she hadn't met before. So you play with this person for a long time, and at last you get hungry and you get thirsty and you get tired, and an old, old woman appears. We're tethered here, so I'm going to move a little bit. Oh my goodness. And this old, old woman, her face is just covered in wrinkles. She's so old but her eyes are so bright, and they glow like two big moons. And at her feet is a big round pot. There's a cauldron right here. And she's stirring something in it. Round and round. So you go close to the cauldron. Come up and see. Come close to the cauldron. At first, it's dark, but then you notice thousands of tiny lights. Thousands, and she's just stirring them and stirring them. You get so dizzy, you're watching them go round and round. Those are the souls of the dead, she said, and they're also the souls of the unborn. In my cauldron, I brew them back to life. Would you like to taste my brew? She puts it out. She'll give you a little drop. She gives you a little drop, a little drop. Not for you? That's okay. It's so sweet. One drop is just enough to leave you really satisfied. You look into her eyes again and you realize that she is the goddess. Remember this taste, she tells you. Whenever you are afraid or you have to do something hard, it will give you strength. The strength of your ancestors. But now it's time to go. Sadly, you say goodbye to the goddess and to your ancestor and to everyone and everything that you have enjoyed on that shining isle. You walk back to the shore. It will be a whole year before you may return to the shining isle. But you will remember your ancestor, maybe in your dreams during that year while you are gone. The boat waits for you. You step inside, and it pushes off across the dark, sunless sea. When the boat reaches the other shore, you see Grandfather Deer is waiting for you, and you smell his warm animal scent and the rich smell of the earth as you step onto the damp earth. You hop onto Grandfather Deer's back. Hold on. And again, you fly through the swirling colors of the spirit world, back over the trees, over the streets, to your own house. You thank Grandfather Deer, and you slide off his back, and you feed him that special apple that you had for Grandfather Deer. Then you curl up safe and asleep and warm in your bed and dream of your ancestors and your magical visit. Thank you for sharing a story with me today, all of you. Now we will take a few minutes to sing our children's blessing as they move on out to their religious exploration activities. Go in love, our hearts go with you.
Our faith is centered on the belief that we can make this world a better place for all who dwell in it. In order to realize that vision, we need both the motivation and the means. Your donation helps the community put its faith into action by supporting our programming and facilities. This morning and throughout the month of November, donations that are not designated for another purpose will be split with IWP Las Amigas. The offering will now be collected and gratefully received. Please join me in this unison reading. The words are on the screen. Let us be grateful when we are able to give, for many do not have that privilege. Let us be grateful for those who share gifts with us, for we are enriched by their giving. Let us be grateful even for our needs, so that we may learn from the generosity of others.
Please join me now in the spirit of meditation and of prayer. Spirit of life, that beyond naming, source of love that fills us all. Hold us close as we come to the gray times, times when the sunshine is less, the times when the chill will start, the times when the color seems to fade and weaken. May we remember that these times are not times of death. These are not times of stagnation. But these are times of stillness, times to be embraced, times to reflect upon ourselves and our world. When the world seems to drain of color, may we look for the color within ourselves. May we take those moments of stillness to find beauty wherever it may be hiding. In the small patch of grass that is still refusing to go to seed. In the sunflower that doesn't know it's not time to bloom. And the scampering squirrels. May we be reminded that in this time beauty is still within and all around us. We hold members of our community in our hearts. We are joyful that James Griffin is out of the hospital after a heart attack a week ago. May he stay strong, knowing his heart and personality, I would doubt if he could be any other way. We also hold Dan O'Rourke, who is still recovering from his cancer treatment. Things seem to be looking good, and they are cautiously optimistic. We hope that strength holds him in his continued fight. We hold in our hearts all of those who struggle, who have been unnamed, all of those whose sorrows they cannot yet share. We hold them in love in this community. May we remember to turn to each other in our times of need. May we remember to honor the beauty around us. May we find strength in all. Blessed be. I would now like to invite folks, as they are called. If you have a joy or a sorrow in your heart that you wish to lift up, to come over here and to place a stone in the water. If there's something on your mind that you do not know how to put words to, a feeling in your heart, just come and put the stone in the water and know that we are here for you.
Our reading today is They Are With Us Still by Kathleen McTeague. In the struggles we choose for ourselves, in the ways we move forward in our lives and bring our world forward with us, it is right to remember the names of those who gave us strength in this choice of living. It is right to name the power of hard lives well lived. We share a history with those lives. We belong to the same motion. They too are strengthened by what had gone before. They too were drawn on by the vision of what might come to be. Those who lived before us, who struggled for justice and suffered injustice before us, have not melted into the dust and have not disappeared. They are with us still. The lives they lived hold us steady. Their words remind us and call us back to ourselves. Their courage and love evoke our own. We, the living, carry them with us. We are their voices, their hands, and their hearts. We take them with us, and with them choose the deeper path of living.
This is our All Souls ceremony. You may have noticed things are a little different. Some of you may be relieved to notice that there is no sermon today. Or there may be on your orders of service, but unfortunately, I had to make a few adjustments because sometimes ritual speaks more than anything I could ever say. Today's the day that we honor those that we've lost. Today's the day that we play with our ancestors. We have all had moments of loss in our lives. Moments where it seems like there is nothing but darkness. And sometimes we have to remember that darkness isn't a bad thing. That sometimes it's a comfort. I've said this before. I will bet dollars on it that if you ask any Unitarian Universalist minister if they would rather do a memorial service or a wedding, they will tell you a memorial service every single time. Because a memorial service is a celebration of a life well lived. A memorial service is a time to recognize the impact and beauty of somebody's life. It is a time to lift up. It is a beautiful thing to celebrate those who have touched us so dearly. In a minute, Ruthie and I will do the candle lighting ceremony, where we will light different candles. And then I'm going to give folks an opportunity to light their own candles for those who've been lost. I would encourage those of you who have lost someone over the last year, I'm going to ask that you come up first after we light our candles, to light a candle, and then if you wish, to tell us who that person was and where you find comfort or what you celebrate of their lives. But for now, join Ruthie and I as we light our candles.
I light this candle to signify the acceptance of life and death. Expressing and feeling grief, sadness, and regret lead to the acceptance of the cycle of life. We are part of a never-ending cycle that we don't comprehend. We offer loving kindness for ourselves and for others. We flow with the cycles of life. We breathe, we be.
I light this candle of the loss of the future. By lighting it, I stand in sympathy with those who have lost a child. The loss of a small being leaves a huge void in our hearts. We question this loss at life's beginning. Why? But an answer doesn't come. We hold in our hearts the loving kindness that we had hoped to bestow on this new being and know that love will find its way. And so we vow, love on. Please respond with me. And so now we vow, love on.
I light this candle of the loss of dreams. My heart is saddened by the loss of potential. Good ideas are lost. Projects may never be started, and taking chances won't happen. We grieve when we lose our dreams, and we grieve the loss of the dreamer. Keep your heart open and let new dreams come into your emptiness. We carry our dreams still.
We carry our dreams still. I light this candle of the loss of completion. We have committed ourselves to life, and to the jobs we want to finish. We want to be there for our children, to give them the understanding and support we know they need. We undertake challenges and tasks that we feel will benefit our families, our friends, people we'll never meet, our society. We ache when obstacles stop us from completion, and when we lose a leader, we miss the insight and hard work that they bring to the task. We miss the meaning that completion gives to living. In our loneliness, we commit. Work will go on. Work will go on.
I light this candle of the loss of hope. I grieve with you who have lost a loved one to hopelessness. Suicide is a disassociation with oneself and with those who love us. Despair darkens judgment, and desperation drives the desire for relief of pain, for an end. Hope has disappeared into a void. Suicide leaves friends and relatives with a sense of incompleteness and of failure. It leaves us sad and angry. It leaves enormous regret because it's often this special person who has enhanced our life with their essence of being. The same sensitivity which led to their death was also a magic that enriched their lives and ours. And so I call hope back to us. Hope never ends.
Hope never ends. I light this candle of the loss of reflection. I honor the loss of life when that person didn't have to reflect on the years go by. The time never came to review the life they lived and to come to peace with themselves and others. And for myself, I grieve that I wasn't able to say goodbye to that person. Was not able to say thanks, to reconcile, to say goodbye. I regret losing the chance for peace with others or myself when the chances were put off for later, ignored, or denied. So I meditate with my memories and wait for the morning light. I forgive you. I forgive me. I forgive us. I forgive you. I forgive me. I forgive us.
I light this candle for the loss of comfort. When we lose someone to death, there are so many things more than their presence that we lose. We lose the many little things that brought us comfort: the touch of a hand, their smell, their favorite songs, the shared memories. We need one another when we mourn and need to be comforted. We are here for each other.
We are here for each other. I light this candle for the breathing of shared air. The sharing of air is an invisible intimacy. We are connected in space and time through shared air. Each breath connects us with our ancestors, for they breathed the very air that we breathe. We breathe, we be.
We
We breathe, we be.
I invite you now to light a candle for those you miss. You can do it in silence, you can say their name, or you can tell us about it. Namaste.
Leave that lit.
I lost two people this year. I lost my stepmother, Charlotte Bishop, and so many people in this congregation have given me comfort around that, and the service led by our good Reverend and which is on YouTube also has given, and people's response to that. I also lost David Martinez, who for about 30 years was my mother's companion and man of great integrity, and comfort I get there is from the call I got from his niece, who let me know that had transpired. He lived in Colorado too.
My sister cousin, Janice, my best friend, Joanne.
I light this candle for my neighbor, Bill Rastetter.
I light the first candle for Joseph Kovchak, my best love ever. I lit the second candle for my granddaughter's longtime friend, Matthew Dean, on the 31st of October, died of a heroin overdose.
I lit the first candle for my dear friend Marge Thomas. I'm comforted by the memory of our laughter and by the memory of listening to her long and wonderful life. I gain comfort from talking to her daughter, Colleen. And I also lit a candle for a nephew, an ex-nephew who died too young. Thank you. Many of you knew my mom, so the first candle is for her. Second candle is for all the people that my sons have known that have died of overdoses, especially Andy, who used to live with us.
I light the first candle for my grandmother. Sorry. And the second one is for my twin brother's best friend, who was killed this summer. Thank you.
I lit a candle for Uncle Charlie Cook, who died at 95 years young and was an adopted member of the Hoy family about 70 years ago.
I light a candle for my sister, Susie Miller Rumbaugh, and for with her beloved daughter, Jennifer Lynn, who died many years ago, and my sister just carried that grief in her heart every day of her life, and comfort and peace. There, I'm just, I'm happy that that's over, that horrible, and I've never had that close up, but I did with my sister, whom I love very deeply, so I felt it also.
This past January, I lost my father, Wayne. He's my inspiration and service to others.
Jean is lighting a candle for our firstborn child, Jean Eric Myers, and also for his very good friend.
Dr. Donald Dickey Rhodes. We became friends when I retired, and it's a miracle that a conservative and a liberal could become such good friends. Hopefully, through our relationship, I've softened his life a little.
I light a candle for my first cousin, Bobby, whom I haven't seen in many, many years. We saw each other back when we were kids and all. It's been too long.
I light a candle for Josh Collier, a fourth grade classmate of mine.
Candle is for my grandmother, Gladys Bauman.
I light this candle for my husband, John, who passed away 5 years ago, and I miss him just like it was yesterday. And I have a girlfriend and coworker that died in a car semi-accident on October 12th. And her name is Gail.
I lit a candle for my two sisters who died last summer, Rita and Annie, and they were both wonderful, joyous people.
I lit a candle for my nephew, Tim Zeiss, who was 26 when he was diagnosed with his brain tumor, and 39 when he finally died.
I light a candle for wonderful members of our congregation, for Don Curry, for Libby Smith, and for George Williston. Libby Smith, may I quote her, "It's a racket."
I light this candle for Herb Rhoda.
And I will light this candle for my mentor, Gene Popke, who died last year. And I will also light this candle for all of those names who were not said, for all of those we have lost before, for the hundreds who have touched our lives, who have left their mark on our souls, and who are with us in spirit still. I promise I will light one of these candles for them. ancestors do play with us. And this also reminds us that sometimes this is hard. Sometimes this is hard. I ask that you now please rise, body or spirit, as we sing our closing hymn, Comfort Me. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me. Comfort me, oh my soul. Sing with me, sing with me, sing with me, oh my soul. Sing with me, sing with me, sing with me, oh my soul. Speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me, oh my soul. Speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me, oh my soul. Dance with me, dance with me, dance with me, oh my soul. Dance with me, dance with me, dance with me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. They are with us still. Their memories, their lessons, their lives, their love lives on in each of us. We extinguish the light of our chalice, but the light of their memories lives on. May it be so.